Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to day 3 of the Spinsterz 30-day Circus Challenge. I'm just pulling things up on my computer here so I can see your comments. There we go. Isn't this an exciting frame, watching me work on my computer? All right, I'm Brandon. Day 3, Circus Challenge. Please tag Circus Skills on Instagram and we can give you feedback on the things that you're learning with us here today. So today we're covering hand hooping, and I am going to imagine that most of you are brand new at hand hooping, not clubs, hooping. Yes, hoops. Okay, so hand hooping, basics 101. If all of you already know how to do isolations and all sorts of tricky shit like that, then let me know in the comments and I will move my class on to something more advanced. But this is for beginners. So, hand hooping. When I'm hooping with my hands, I like to use a hoop that is a little bit smaller than the average one that I use. Yes, I use a big hoop. I don't use those tiny little 28 or 32 inch ones. I'm still on a 36 and love it. So grab yourself a smaller hoop, something that you're not going to hit your ceiling with, and put it in your dominant hand. We're going to start with a forward spin with our hoop. So it's going to hang in between my thumb and pointer finger, right there in that soft tissue. And you're going to give a little flick of the wrist, and that's how you get the hoop to start spinning. One of the things you want to keep in mind when you're hand hooping is to keep your hand nice and soft. If you're gripping your hand really hard, you're going to cause bruising in there, and it's really not going to feel good. So nice soft hand, it's rolling between the squishy part between my thumb and forefinger. My hand is nice and relaxed, and I'm just spinning forwards. You can do this in your right hand, your left hand, forwards or backwards. Right now we're spinning forwards. I'm going to stop the hoop by grabbing it, and I'm going to give a flick backwards to start it spinning backwards. Megan, it's okay. If this is your first time doing this, you'll figure it out. Hand hooping between the thumb and forefinger. Try with both hands. If you've been doing it in your right hand, try with your left. Again, you're keeping your hand nice and soft. So you're all going to have plenty of time to practice this. So we're going to play with stopping the hoop as it's moving. This is a good skill to learn, especially when you start playing with multiple hoops, is being able to grab the hoop and flick it the opposite direction. Grab the hoop, flick it the other way. So try this just a few times, going back and forth, grabbing the hoop. With this, you want your wrist to be pretty strong. If you are spinning quickly and you grab the hoop, it can potentially torque your wrist the wrong way, and you don't really want that. So you want a soft hand, but a strong, stable wrist. Grab, we're spinning backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, back and forth, back and forth. I actually do this quite a bit as a wrist strengthener all by itself. I find it as a pretty good workout for my wrists. I spend a lot of time doing handstands and acro yoga, and this is actually a good wrist strengthener. If you use a smaller hoop, it's going to be easier for your wrists. A bigger hoop's going to put a little bit more torque on it. So work your way up to a heavier hoop and maybe incorporate this into some of the exercises that you're doing. If you want to build wrist strength and flexibility, this is a good exercise to do. So now we're going to play with switching hands. Again, if you all know how to do this, I apologize, but this class is for the beginners because I would like to teach them. So switching hands, if I'm going my left hand right now, the easiest way to switch is going to be to bring your other hand, slide it along the palm. Haha, I mess up too. But dropping your hoop is awesome because that means you're trying something new. and learning. So, again, hands out here, I'm hooping parallel to my body. I'm going to bring my hands into a prayer position, put them together, and then I can take one hand away. Again, to switch hands. Abigail, who you'll meet tomorrow in our headstand class. Alright, so that is switching hands in front of your body. I would play with doing this down low, up high, don't hit your ceiling, over to the left, over to the right. Just play with different places in space where you can bring your hands together and switch hands. My computer's being finicky. It makes me think that live is not working. Somebody want to comment? Let me know if it's still live. Alright, so we're going to move on from in front of the body hand passes to behind the back hand passes. So the way you want to do this, you're going to be hooping forward in your right hand. Good to know we're still live. Yeah, our Wi-Fi signal up here is not the best, but I'm working on it. Alright, behind the back hand passes. Forward hooping in my right hand. My hand's going to come down. I'm going to grab the hoop. My thumb is facing down. And I'm going to meet thumb to thumb behind my back. And now it's in my left hand, and I'll be spinning backwards. Going to switch to the right hand. Forward hooping. I'm going to grab the hoop, my thumb faces down, I meet thumb to thumb behind my back, and come out on the left hand spinning backwards. Does that make sense to you guys? This is it, speed it up a little bit. I'm hooping, I meet thumb to thumb, and backwards. Make sure you're turning your body a full 180 degrees. If you're only turning a little bit, it's just not going to work. So if you're starting here, when you turn 180 degrees. We're going to do that now in our left hand, hooping forward. I'm going to take the hoop, I'm going to meet thumb to thumb, grab with my right hand, turn, and now I'm backwards spinning. So I'm going to shut up for a second and just do this motion so you guys can see what's going on and hopefully copy it. Let me know if you have any questions or you're running into issues here. Thumb to thumb, backwards, forwards, thumb to thumb, backwards, forwards. That's making me kind of dizzy, which is silly because I'm a hooper and I shouldn't get dizzy. So when I'm going behind my back and I'm meeting thumb to thumb right there and grabbing the hoop, when you're in your flow, you're not going to be taking that much time. So we're going to show you what it looks like when it's not completely broken down like that. You're going to use your thumb. You're going to be doing thumb transfers behind your back. And then your hand position is going to look something like this. I think you guys can see that. My fingers are facing down, my thumb is out and ready to catch the hoop. So what this looks like is I'm coming here and I'm hooking it on my thumb. So behind the back, my hand is here waiting, my thumb is sticking out, and I'm using my thumb to hook the hoop. Again, fingers facing down, thumb sticking out, hook the hoop with your thumb. I'm now going the other way. I'm starting with my left hand going forwards. Fingers facing down, thumb sticking out, hook the hoop on your thumb, and come out spinning. The key with this is sticking your thumb out. My hand is against my back, my thumb is out, waiting to catch the hoop. Make sense? I'm just refreshing my feed here, making sure it's still working, looking at any comments coming in. Yes, I am a human and I do drink wine and I love it. So now we're going to move on to something a little more complicated. If any of you are tuning in and want something a little more challenging to work on, here it is. It's called a cat isolation or cat-eye isolation. Traditionally it's done in poi, but you can do it with hoops as well. Right now I'm actually drinking a Meritage blend. Alright, cat isolation. You're going to start in your right hand, fingers facing forwards. And to begin this trick, I'm going to break it down in a couple different steps, and this will be the last trick that I teach today. You're going to allow the hoop to fall. It's going to rotate around the back of your hand, and you're going to grab again. So, slowed down, your hand is rotating and grabbing again. This is what it looks like. I'm holding onto the hoop, my thumb is facing down, I'm letting go, and grabbing again, and my thumb is facing up. Nothing more to it than that. At the beginning, when we were doing those grabs and direction shifts, that's where this will come in handy. All right, again, just letting it roll across the back of your hand and grabbing again. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now we're going to incorporate the second part of this. You know what, I haven't even showed you what it looks like. So, this is what a cat isolation looks like. I'm hoping you can see this far down near my hips. But ideally, the hoop looks like it's just going up and down and up and down. And my hand is going from front to back. So, that's what it looks like when all the steps are combined. So we've got this part of it, the rolling back and forth. And now what you want to do is part of an isolation. You want to get your hand from point A to point B without the hoop dipping down. To do that, I have to bring my hand up in an arc. So when we were just doing this a second ago, when your hoop was just dipping and you were changing your hand, my hand is staying the same place in space. It's not moving up or down. Now we need our hand to go up and then back down. Up and back down. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to bring my hand up and down. Up and down. I am tracing the exact arc of my hoop. And I'm doing it quickly because if I don't do it quickly, it's going to fall. So position 1, position 2, and you get there very quick. This is like half an isolation just on the top half of the hoop. What's going on at the top is my hand is flat and then grabbing again. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, position 1, position 2, position 1, position 2. I'm isolating the top half of my hoop. Now step 3 to get the cat isolation part of that. So you're doing the same thing, except your hand is now moving on an arc at the bottom of the swing. This is quite complicated to explain. So we're going to start. I'm going to go back to my dominant hand. My right hand facing out. My arm is going to come down near my hip as the hoop rolls on the back of my hand, and then I grab again and bring my arm up. So my arm is doing a motion like this. It's like the bottom half of the hoop. Grabbing here, grabbing here. Position 1, position 2, position 1, position 2. My hand is essentially making this shape, the bottom part of the hoop. So simultaneously, I'm going to let go of the hoop and I'm going to swing my arm down and back. Again, at the same time, I'm going to release the hoop and bring my arm back and grab the hoop. And the hoop is traveling on the back part of my hand. If you haven't done this before, I do know it is complicated as hell. It took me a while to figure it out. So keep practicing. As you are all learning how to do this, I highly suggest videotaping yourself and watching what's going on, and then going back and looking at this video on our Facebook page. It's going to stay up here. Take a video on Instagram as well and tag Circus Skills with a Z, and myself or one of our lovely Spinsterz crew will comment on it and help you out with what's going on. Cat isolation. I think I have a YouTube video from like 7 years ago or so teaching this move, so you can check that out as well. So that's going to be it for my class today. If any of you have any questions concerning that, really quickly, I'm happy to stay on here and answer them. But that's it. Basics again, hand hooping. Keep your hand soft. Don't make it rigid. Nice and soft, it'll cause less bruising. Think about that for all of your hooping as well. If you are making your muscles tight and squeezing, you're going to get bruised. If it's nice and soft and relaxed, you're going to be fine. We also covered switching directions with your hand. This is a great wrist strengthener. I'll be doing some doubles hooping as well, where we play a lot with direction changes. This is just a great thing to do, sitting on the couch, drinking wine, watching Netflix. Another thing we played with was switching hands, taking your free hand, sliding it up your arm to the palm, taking the hand away. Sliding your hand up the arm to the palm, taking it away. Next thing we covered was behind the back. Remember, you're turning a whole 180 degrees here. You're hooking your thumb, fingers facing down, and turning around again. Behind the back, hook the thumb, and around. And the last thing we covered was the 3 different steps of a cat isolation. Starting position 1 to position 2, your hand is tracing the top part of the circle. The second half of that was being able to drop your hand. Actually, I don't even remember what the 3 steps were, but this is what you want to get to in the end. Cat isolations. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Tomorrow we're going to be teaching the beginning of headstands. I definitely want to get to teaching handstands, and I think proper body alignment and learning a headstand is a great place to start. So for prep tomorrow, find a wall, ideally somewhere that's carpeted, or use a yoga mat, and clear that space out, and we'll teach you some headstands tomorrow. Thanks a bunch for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a great night.